ever wondered what narcissists are escaping from? They never give you a straight answer. You never know what they are doing, where they are going. They're always asking questions about you, but when you want to ask a question and find out some information, there is never a straight answer. So what are narcissists trying to escape from? Watch this as I'll explain in the video. Hello and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what narcissists are trying to escape from. They're always on the move. They're always trying to get somewhere. They're always doing something. There's never any kind of like that internal peace, and they're always thinking, doing something, maybe on their phones, maybe texting supply. I mean, I don't know, probably that is what's happening, but they're always trying to escape from something. So in this video, I'm going to be looking at what narcissists are trying to escape from. Narcissists aren't escaping from anything. That is the problem. They are never ever seem to find what causes their boredom or their emptiness. They temporarily feel satisfied when they have an adrenaline rush, when they have that attention, when they have emotional validation. Okay, and this is what they are seeking. They're not running away from this, but they are seeking this. And when they find this supply, it then ends usually with them blaming someone or something, basically that it isn't their fault. And this is what the problem is. They're always blaming somebody else. It's always, they externalize this. They always say that it's something external to them. They never look within. And that is the issue here. That's the crux of the situation, is that they don't look inward. They can't escape themselves. And that is what I'm talking about. The narcissist can't escape themselves, and that is what they are trying to get away from. If you think about it, they are uncomfortable within themselves. They don't really know who they are. So they're constantly trying to escape something that is deep rooted within them. They don't find it particularly comfortable being themselves, being in their own company. This is why they seek other people. This is why they have to have a lot of people around them. This is why they have to have supply around them, because they're not comfortable within themselves. They're not comfortable being who they are. If you think about it, they don't even have an identity. They don't even know who they are. They mirror you, they mirror others, they copy others. They pretend to be someone completely different simply because they just don't know who they are. So when you don't have a sense of self, it's very difficult to determine who you are, what your habits are, what do you like doing, what things do you enjoy, what are the building blocks of you. So when you don't know who you are, this is why you tend to blame somebody else. And this kind of identity loss comes from childhood, okay? For a narcissist, when they were younger, they weren't noticed, or they were made to believe that actually they themselves are not good enough. So they have to they built up in their minds that they have to escape who they are. They have to get away from who they are because they're not good enough. Usually their caregiver, their parent would have made them feel as though they have to change, that they are not accepted the way that they are. So this is why the child then, the narcissistic child, then develops this exterior, okay, to get away from who they are, because they're not accepted as they are. So they built these boundaries, these big walls, and this is where the ego formation started. This is why they're able to be several different people in one person, because they constantly have to shift and change their identity to match their environment. This is what they did as children. Remember, their narcissistic parents or their parent didn't like them for who they are. So they saw them either as an extension or they weren't accepted as a child. So what they had to do is change who they are. So when they change who they are, they mold themselves into something that their parents wanted them to be. So as you can see, this is what they do now. This is what they are doing all the time. They are molding themselves into their environment, into what's going on around them, the people around them, so that they feel accepted. When the narcissist is on their own, usually when they have broken up from a relationship or they've had an argument, so they're on their own. I'm not talking completely on their own without supply, but I'm talking about when they are on their own, they don't like themselves. And this highlights all of this from their childhood, that actually they're not good enough, which is why people don't want to be around them. This is the kind of internal dialogue and narrative that's going on for them. They don't like being isolated on their own, which is why they have so many people around them. And they keep this harem of people simply because they don't like being alone. So that's what they're trying to escape from, is being on their own. Having others, all right, you can determine their emotional validity, right? You know where that person is. You study them, you watch them, you get to know who they are. And what you do is you use those social cues or those environmental cues from that person to be able to determine your mood, the way that you then mold yourself to be that person, that other person wants you to be. It's that same repeated pattern since childhood that basically goes on and on and on into adulthood. It's never going to get corrected. It's never going to be different, because why should they change? It gets them the results that they need, so why change? There's no need for it. So if you really look at it, this is a really dysfunctional way of being, okay? Because you don't know who you are, but you're trying to escape that something that you don't know what it is. This is why narcissists externalize their behavior. Like, they blame shift, they gaslight, they bend your reality so it becomes similar to theirs, because they cannot accept that somebody else is different, somebody else feels a different way to you. And this narrative that they have got going on is really dysfunctional. They don't feel comfortable within themselves. And you see, the difference for us is that we are ourselves. We know who we are. We are genuine, authentic individuals, you know, who have understood what it is that we need, we want, and boundaries as well, like what we are willing to put up in a relationship, what we are willing to accept around others. But a narcissist doesn't have that. They bend it, they gaslight, simply because they want their needs met. And they're not going to change this, because they don't need to. Because if you're giving them emotional validity and the attention, it takes away from them thinking about themselves. They don't need to escape. Which is why they have a hard time, you know, like when supply goes or they've got no one around them, they find this really, really difficult. So they're scrambling around, you know, for people to be there for them. And that is the main issue of this, really. You know, they have to have others around them so that it takes away from them thinking about themselves. They don't want to do that. Their needs being met is a different story. Yes, they need that, but they don't want to be thinking about themselves. This is why they're trying to escape their reality, their past, who they are. They don't have time for introspection. They don't do things like that, you know, like they're not able to do that. This is one of the issues of narcissism, actually, because it is a dysfunctional kind of interpersonal relationship that they have with themselves, but also with others. How they relate to themselves also reflects how they will relate to you and to other individuals. This cannot be fixed. And I have said this a few times in my videos, that actually this issue that narcissists have, this cannot be fixed through therapy or through medication. It isn't possible, because it's a way of being. This is how they have learned to be in the world. So I know that there's a lot of you out there, because I know that a lot of you have asked me this question, like, can you fix a narcissist? Can therapy do it? Can, like, even if you were doing microdosing or anything like that? The thing is, it can't, because these neural structures within the brain have already been formed. And if you think about it also, their emotional center, the amygdala, has been not formed in the correct way. So their way of processing emotional information is going to be completely different. It's not going to be the same as how we would. It's going to be dysfunctional, which is why they behave in these bizarre ways. I mean, why would you gaslight? I mean, why would you blame shift? Why can you not take responsibility? I mean, these are all the things, these are all the questions that you're probably asking yourself, is like, why is this person like this? But that's literally because of the way that they interpreted their environment. It's to do with childhood experiences. And when you have really tough, traumatic childhood experience, it makes it really difficult for you then to be able to understand the world in a different way. I know that a lot of empathetic individuals have had traumatic childhoods, but there's a difference, okay? There's a difference, because the narcissist has learned to develop this strong ego, okay? This dysfunctional ego where they believe that nothing is their fault. Whereas the empathetic individual would really try to internalize all of this and really think about what has happened, what's going on. And that's why there is a difference between the empath and the narcissist, and that's why they are so drawn to one another as well, because they do actually mirror certain aspects or certain parts of themselves, but actually the narcissist is void, it's empty. They don't really have a sense of self, a personality. They mold themselves into others around them. I did a video all about this. I'm going to link it below. Have a look at it, see what you think. It gives more information as to why narcissists are drawn to empaths and why empaths are drawn to narcissists. The thing is, narcissists are trying to escape themselves. And that is the issue here. They're trying to escape themselves. They don't like who they are. They don't like what they have become, but actually it gets their needs met. So it becomes rather sadistic, and it doesn't make them feel good. You may think it does, but it doesn't make them feel good. So really, it's the escape from self. And when you can't do that, you are trapped in your own doing, in your own hell, because you cannot escape who you are, because you don't know, number one, where to start, how to make changes, how to perceive the information in your environment differently. Emotional validation, that's what you're always looking for, but you don't know how to get it, you don't know how to change it. So guys, I really hope that this video helps to kind of get you to understand that narcissists are not going to change and why they behave the way that they do. Guys, please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you are someone that is looking maybe for some extra understanding or depth of understanding, please know that I do one-to-one consultations. Please see the description box below. And also I do a weekly journal club. Also please see the description box below for more details. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.